is just fantastic. Captain's Log, Subdate 220106.3. I've instructed the Auctor to compile a list of suitable upgrades for the Arcadia, while I am personally overseeing the annual fitness tests that literally everyone fails, yet always under what was once Bork managed to magically pass. I am going to be rigorous. Welcome everyone to the exhibition of stupid people. Today we have 4 subjects to go through, and I'm going to start with a small apology. In my efforts to try and be more, let's say, improved as a creator, I have a headache today. Because of that, I can't sit in front of the screen for too long and edit with the new avatar and all the things I want to use. I'm very sorry about that. So to start this video, we're going to go with a piece of politics, and I know you don't care for politics on this channel. I usually save it for the stream channel. But this one intrigued me. Tony Blair. A man elected in 1997 under the slogan with the song "Things Can Only Get Better." He created one of the worst debts this country's ever seen because he spent and was never held accountable for it, along with the illegal wars. Yes, we're all very much aware he was receiving a balls-deep bush in his backside. Bush being George, that president guy who got doors wrong and went into a cupboard. Yes. Many years ago, Tony Blair, when he resigned, was the world's most hated man in England and Scotland. He was hated because of the debt he created. He was hated because his policies created a further divide in society. Hell, he tried to become EU president and failed miserably because no one in the EU likes anyone from the UK. Even when we were members, we were quite hated. Well, Tony Blair recently was announced that he would receive a knighthood in the Queen's New Year's Honours list. He becomes a member of the Order of the Garter. This was created nearly 700 years ago, inspired by the tales of King Arthur and the Round Table. This particular order has the Queen, several senior royals, and 24 knights who are chosen in recognition for their work, one of which will be Tony Blair. Since this has happened, there has been a petition to get that changed and have him removed. It now has over 500,000 signatures. Granted, you can be sure many of those aren't even British. Some of those could well be Iraqi. I wonder why. Many people have pointed out that clearly the monarch was paying attention because in the 14 years between him leaving office to now, he was never selected for this New Year's honour. It is quite common for former prime ministers who have lengthy service to receive such an honour. But with him being chosen, no doubt it's because they thought that perhaps there wouldn't be as much backlash this time. Just to give this some perspective though, if Tony Blair is to receive one, I suspect Gordon Brown will get one, David Cameron and Theresa May. Although of the 3 of them, chances are the public would only back Gordon Brown, because he tried to at least try and repair the damage he and his former had done to the economy. Whereas David Cameron was the reason Brexit happened, and Theresa May negotiated one of the worst deals ever to exist ever. We may as well have just stayed. So next we're going to talk about schools in the United Kingdom. The Girls' Day School Trust represents 23 private schools and 2 academies. Recently updated its gender identity policy guidance document last month. In that guidance, it has made it quite clear that schools within the trust do not accept applications from pupils who are legally biologically male, and have said that having a policy on gender identity would jeopardize their status under the Equality Act. However, a female pupil who begins to transition while already at one of those schools should be supported to remain there for as long as they want to, which has been added to the document. The teaching union, the Association of School of College Leaders, the ASCL, which then represents teachers, head teachers more notably, called on the government to issue clearer guidance for what to do when a pupil says they are transgender. The only reason this has all come about is because there are single-sex schools in this country, and because of this grey area, they're having to update the guidance. Somewhat interestingly, I've noticed not many people have gone in on these trusts for it. They've been too busy complaining about goblins in Harry Potter, and many people who speak about this seem to take the side and stance that the schools are right to do this to protect the students at the school. But I'm keen to know what people think about this, because it's a bit of a strange one. But don't worry, I'm going to give you something light-hearted before I rant on about something that's been bugging me for a week. Bloodthirsty squirrel attacks 18 people in small Welsh village in 2-day Christmas rampage. I'm loving this headline already. A squirrel's reign of terror over a sleepy Welsh village has been brought to an end after it bit 18 residents, leaving some too scared to leave their homes. Nicknamed Stripe, the grey squirrel was finally caught in a humane trap and handed to the RSPCA. Damn them all. I say, release Stripe. Stripe was doing the Lord's work. This squirrel is accused of biting dogs, cats, chasing people down country roads. And it only ended when somebody, Corrine Reynolds of the RSPCA, set out a cage in her garden with a handful of peanuts, which apparently was enough to trick this very smirt squirrel. Now, the reason I take issue with this is because the RSPCA believed they had no choice but to send Stripe to squirrel heaven. I'm not okay with that. Maybe if you all weren't living there, Stripe wouldn't have attacked you. Maybe you could have taken him somewhere nicer, where there weren't so many people. Not necessarily Welsh, I like the accent, but people. How about this? How about we move everyone out of Wales and give it over to the squirrels? They can have their own kingdom. They can rename it. And if anyone doesn't have a throbbing headache and is more creative than I, which is all of you, hi, think of a creative name for what Wales should be renamed to accommodate the squirrels, led by King Stripe I. Now to the final subject, I'm going to do something a little different. We're getting rid of all of this. All of it. I want to talk about the return of Creepshow Art to YouTube. I know many people have covered this already. Creepshow Art, aka Shannon, released a video on her channel that is over 2 hours long. I believe it accompanied a Google Doc. I watched all of it now, and I'm not impressed. I expected, because I tried to avoid everyone else's responses, I expected within it there to be an apology, and the other 2 hours just be you playing the ukulele while singing over and over again, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But at no point do you, instead favouring to double down and then to take what you've done and what you've been accused of and say, but what Emily's done is worse, which is a false equivalence, and you know that. This critical thought that you used to have gone out of the window in favour of this obsession. Accusations levied at you included stalkerish behaviour. So what did you do in your 2-hour response? You pulled out 8 years' worth of receipts on Emily. That's not stalkerish, is it? You deflected when it came to you, criticisms at you. You favoured to use your husband as a shield and defended him vehemently when there are many accusations levied at him as well. Your entire argument was to go in on Emily under the guise of, but what she's done is worse, what she has done is worse, and I've done nothing wrong, but the evidence is there. It was all there. At no point was there any version of this where I couldn't simply tell you, you're wrong. I always believed after what happened that you could come back. I really did. There are many creators who have been involved in quite substantial controversies, and while they're nothing like yours, I'm going to mention them individually. You have Turkey Tom and the Pyrocynical incident. Pyrocynical was accused of grooming from a person called Ivory Rasmus. Turkey Tom got annihilated when Pyro responded. Turkey Tom rebuilt, and Turkey Tom's a fantastic creator. John Swan, involved in a controversy involving a lie concerning Dream. He hasn't quite rebuilt, but he is trying, and that's what matters here. Crowdson T went in on the alt-right, got annihilated when it came to pregnant trout, was it? Jesus, that was just embarrassing. But he rebuilt as a historical channel. Part of me wished Mundane Matt had managed to do this, then we could at least mention him as well, but sadly not. But that's for other reasons, okay? The point is, there was a genuine chance you could have come back, and you could have started to, in the eyes of others, atone, make up for what you did by apologizing outright, and simply carry on. Rebuild your reputation that's been utterly annihilated by your own poor decisions. But instead, you spent 2 hours doing something that, by the way, surely, as you reference in that video, legal representation, helping you in a legal case, would have told you not to make this video has done nothing but absolutely ruin any chance of you being able to come back to this platform and thrive. Unless your entire point is to be on the platform so people can hate you because you never took responsibility because you still just believe you are right. Yet you have been proven, demonstrably proven, to be nothing close to right. This is a form of pride, one of the 7 deadly sins, born entirely out of arrogance, where you must be right, and you believe you're right to the point that even if it's a lie, you just go with it. And because of that, you have made it so you cannot continue, and you will certainly never be respected. And respect on this platform is so important. If you are not respected by your viewers, if you're not respected by potential viewers, if people hear of you and they only hear of you in the negative, how far can you even go? And maybe you don't need this anymore, maybe you've got something else. Hell, maybe your husband could support you, but you had something good and you've taken it, and you've well and truly screwed it up. Bear in mind, you were getting millions of views a month. You were doing well, and it's all gone. All gone. It was posited you only made the video because there was a risk of you losing your monetization. And there is a point to that possibly, but I felt you were getting enough views a week to cover the bare minimum. I still think there is a tiny, and it's now definitely the tiniest, almost atomic-sized chance you could come back and do well, rebuild and carry on. But it won't be easy, and it starts with 2 words to Emily. Not to anyone else, just to Emily. And if you are so arrogant and prideful as to believe that you are right, then I keenly await to see your rip-roaring successful, critically acclaimed return to this platform, where you will undoubtedly get all the thumbs up, all the views, and all the pleasant comments that you totally deserve.